Well, I'm going to start off maybe more of a comment, but let you touch on it, because I loved this in your book. Your explanation of why you don't give clients a list of what is a yes and a list of what is no in what is appropriate. I can't tell you how many times I have ladies ask me that. Like, so is this okay? Is this okay? And ladies, I loved it. It was on page 36 if you want to mark that and go back and read it. But explain why you don't do that. I loved your explanation for that.
Yeah. Well, I think the number one thing is that, number one, first of all, everybody is so different. There is absolutely no way we can accurately say, okay, never do this. I mean, there are some never do's, but I think people know those. You know, there are some never do's, but in general, couples have kind of got to figure that out a little bit themselves. And it never works well when somebody comes and tells you what to do and what not to do. That never works well. Even in counseling, I will always take more of an approach of, so what do you think about this? And what do you think about this? I never say, okay, don't do that. And don't, you know, that just, nobody likes to be told what to do. So it needs to be a couple decision. You know, I know I work with a lot of, you know, LDS couples, and so, you know, a lot of times it's like, okay, is this okay? Is this not okay? You know, whatever. But even for most religious organizations, and this is true for the LDS church, the Mormon church, is that those questions, those bedroom questions, are left between husband and wife and God. And that really is the only good place. I mean, you know, my only other place I would add is a sex therapist that you trust, that can help you kind of walk through things, because it can get a little tricky if we've got like sexual addiction going on, because unfortunately that does have a tendency to rewire the arousal and the sexuality of a man, and it can then impose itself onto a woman. And so then there is some of that, what's okay, what isn't, that might be tough for just the husband and wife to come up with on their own. And anyone else probably won't, unless they've got some expertise in addiction as well, they won't even really know how to help you well with some of those questions. So, and like you talked about before too, is, you know, anytime I say one thing or another, even if I just tell people how often couples should be having sex, invariably somebody you know, one or the other goes and beats the other spouse over the head with, well, Laura said that couples should be having sex 15 times a week. And it's not that, guys. Do not, any of you men, do not quote me right there. Do not use that against me.
Oh, yes. Okay. Well, I just really liked that, how, you know, you're like, if I had a couple in there and one partner saying, this is something I want, and the other partner saying, I don't want this, what good is it going to be for you to say yes or no? Because then the other partner is going to hold it over the other one's head. Right.
And Trina, I do also, just after page 36, I think it's page 36 through 42, I actually give people questions that they can walk through between husband and wife, that they can ask each other to help figure out specifically what's their situation. So at the bottom of page 41, what's the purpose or intent of the desired sexual behavior? So let's say somebody wants to do oral sex. That's the most common question, but the other doesn't. What's the purpose? Who wants that? What's the reason why? Does either spouse feel demeaned, degraded, or objectified? Let's see, what are the short-term, long-term consequences of adding that in? Is it going to strengthen or weaken? Who generally does most of the changing when it comes to adding in or subtracting? Is it always the wife that gives in? Is it always the husband that gives in? There's got to be some balance. So there's some actual structure as to how to actually go through your what's okay, what isn't questions.